Hey guys, so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about when a deck calls out to you to start working with it. When I first started my tarot journey, there was a few decks that I had received, or not received, but bought that I thought looked cool, but then when I got them, I wasn't really feeling them. Like, the energy was interesting, but I just didn't really feel like it. And at first, I started to think that those decks were just not a deck I was going to connect with. So, I'd put them on the shelf, maybe think about gifting them. But something that I have really noticed about tarot is sometimes the decks that come into our lives come into your life a little earlier than when you actually need them. I have found that maybe about half my decks have been decks that I thought were beautiful and wonderful, but I didn't really feel an emotional connection to. And then randomly I will be doing my own thing and going along with my normal favorites, and all of a sudden I will get this strange intuition, almost like the deck called out to me. It just my attention gets really drawn to it, and all of a sudden I just want to work with this deck. The reason I'm making this video is because that is what just happened in the last week with the Alice Tarot. I've been wanting this deck for ages, and my mother bought it for me as an early Christmas present before I went to Australia. And she gave it to me the day I was leaving. And when I opened it up, as much as the art and stuff really excited me, I didn't feel drawn to use it at all. I knew this was going to be a deck that was going to be a big part of my collection, but I didn't know how much I was going to connect to it emotionally. So everything was packed away and everything like that, and so I decided to take it with me on my trip. I actually just found out recently that Avalon from Avalon Spiritual Odyssey was just given this deck right before she went across to South America, and I think it's funny that I was given this deck right before I went across the ocean to Australia. It's kind of a down the rabbit hole kind of deck, if you know what I mean. So anyway, so this deck had been on my shelf for a while. It was the only deck I kept in the box when I was living with Tyler. The rest of my decks were out, and then probably about a month ago, I pulled it out of the box. I love the backing on this thing. It is just absolutely gorgeous. And I really love looking at it. It's really beautiful, but I still didn't feel a huge draw to use it. And then when I moved here, all of a sudden, just the other day, I wanted to do a spread, and this just called out to me. And I was like, all right. So I did the spread, and it was just felt so beautiful in my hands. The cards are lovely. The card stock is just beautiful. This is from Baba Studios. This is I guess kind of a limited edition deck. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's definitely the most expensive deck I own. I think it was around $125. Definitely worth the money. Love this deck so much. But anyway, so I used it for this one spread, and I was like, wow, that was really nice. And then the next day or two later, I had the intuition to do a reading with it with a friend of mine, Livia. And then just I've done a few spreads with actually there's one of mine over there, with the Klimt Tarot. I have kind of stepped into using that a lot more recently, but this deck out of nowhere has become my go-to for when I do spreads, and I think it's really beautiful. So I just wanted to encourage you that if you find a deck that you find is beautiful but you don't connect with energetically right away, or you don't have a draw to read with it right away, trust that intuition. Use your other decks, maybe put it away, look at it every once in a while, whatever. But trust that maybe that deck is supposed to come into your life a little later, and maybe you got it because later on you would not have been able to get it or something like that. And so it came into your space, but maybe it's not supposed to come into your life until now. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. It's always really exciting when a deck calls out to you and you really start working with a new deck. It's really a lot of fun. I really enjoy it, and especially with a deck like this, which is so beautiful. I'm just so excited to get to know this deck on a deeper level. It's funny, when I did my video on decks that I gravitate towards, this was not on that list because this was, I think I did that video maybe a day before this deck called out to me, but now this is the deck I'm using the most, so I just thought that was kind of funny, and I wanted to do a little update on that. So anyway, again, this is the Alice Tarot by Baba Studios. I believe they still have these decks for sale on their site, but there is a limited number. It's a few thousand or something like that. But when those sell out, from what they say on their site, there will not be a reprinting. So if you want this deck, I highly recommend it. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous deck. And especially if you like Alice in Wonderland, it's more based on the book than the movie, so especially if you like the book, I definitely suggest this deck. Highly, highly worth the money. Just want to do a little video on that, but many blessings, namaste, and happy tarot reading. Bye! Oh, and on a completely different note, I cut my hair, so that's pretty exciting. I brought the Egyptian bangs back, kind of loving them, feeling sassy, but yeah, so they're back! Okay. Had a really weird day. I was supposed to go into the city today, and some technical stuff didn't work out, so I wasn't able to go in, which was sucky. But I'm gonna go in tomorrow. I'm looking for work in the city, so I'm looking for work in the city, so I'm ridiculously excited. My dream job right now, for some reason, is I want to work in a bookstore. There's a bookstore in the city that has tarot and oracle. So actually, let's be honest. We know why I want that job. Anyway, many blessings, you guys. Mwah. Namaste. Bye.